Today I'm going to be talking you through the differences between electric and acoustic guitars. Now, it's my personal opinion that if you're a first-time guitarist, an electric guitar will be a lot easier to play. There are a few reasons for this. One, if you take a look at this, the action of the guitar, you'll see that the strings are a lot closer to the fretboard than on an acoustic. Okay, that's called the action on the guitar. We say it has a lower action. The strings on an electric are also a hell of a lot thinner than those on an acoustic, because they don't need to make a lot of noise. Because these pickups do all the hard work, they make it loud. Many electric guitars, take for example this here Fender Stratocaster, they're a lot more modern than acoustic technology because they have electricity, and you notice that it's been shaped in such a way as to make it look really, really sexy. And also to accommodate the human body contours very nicely. You see how easily my arm fits around this thing? You see how it's got these little horns for moving it around with? You see how the neck's really thin? You can move your hand up and down it with no difficulty whatsoever. So there are a couple of design differences between electric and acoustics. The downside, however, is the fact that, as the name would imply, an electric guitar does require electricity in order to work. And so you need to buy yourself an amplifier, a whole set of cables, you need to buy plugs. Okay, so you walk into a guitar shop wondering what to buy. You've got yourself a budget, I'm sure. You need to go around and try out as many guitars in your price range as you possibly can. Okay, look for playability, tone, craftsmanship. It's a good idea to first off go in there, pretend you've got a super big amount of money, and play a really expensive guitar, and then find which model in your price range matches that the best. Now a quick note on the price. Remember that with guitars, like many things, you do get what you pay for, so it might be worthwhile stepping up and going for a model higher up than the one you were originally going to buy. Well, now I'm going to tell you about the different parts of the guitar. It's rather like a human being in the respect that it has what's known as a body. It has another part attached to the body known as a neck, and then it has a headstock attached to the neck. So you notice the similarities between me and the guitar already. It also has 6 strings, which a human doesn't necessarily need to have, but nonetheless. It has 6 strings. It also has a bunch of frets, normally between 21 and 24. The frets are basically these metal parts going along here, and there's also a name given to the space in which you put your finger between the frets. So try not to get too confused there. One word has 2 different meanings in this sense. Okay, you also have tuning pegs along here, along the headstock. You rotate these, it tightens and loosens the strings, and you can tune the guitar. Okay, you have down here a bridge. It's effectively, the strings go over it like a car would go over a bridge, so it's known as the bridge. You thread the strings through it from this side, and they come out across the guitar. You also have this thing called a scratch plate. Now, the purpose of this is that when you're playing the guitar like crazy, you're not going to scratch the guitar and cause permanent damage. If you scratch this, you can just replace the scratch plate. We also have these things here, pickups. They're effectively tiny microphones that go under all the strings, and in a lot of guitars, you can choose between which one you use using this pickup selector. Okay, we also have an input socket in which you can put a cable and get a guitar sound from the amplifier. Okay, this electric guitar has 3 pickups, and you can choose which one you're using with this pickup selector switch. Now, you play around with it, they all have slightly different characters. You've got this one, bridge pickup. The next one then allows you to actually choose between the 2 put together, the bridge one and the mid pickup. We then get the mid pickup by itself, the mid pickup and the neck pickup, and finally the complete neck pickup. Now, these tone pots also can be turned to control the tone for each pickup. You notice this one affects the the neck pickup. You can hear the difference. Whilst this one affects the mid pickup. So there is a plethora of different tones that you can get out of just one guitar. It's great fun to experiment with, and something that I'd really recommend trying out in the shop before you buy the guitar. Now, with the acoustic guitar, you'll notice many similarities. It too has a body, a neck, a headstock, a bunch of tuning keys, a few strings, some frets. But there are differences. Rather than pickups, an acoustic guitar has a much deeper hollowed out body and a sound hole, as you see here. And what this means is that when you play the strings, the sound will echo around inside the guitar, and come out with a sound hole much louder than it was before. Another thing you notice about an acoustic guitar is that you can play it different places along the strings in relation to the sound hole and get very different sounds. So like the electric, where we're adjusting tones with the knobs, here we're doing it just by adjusting whereabouts we play the guitar. Okay. Now looking at fret numbers, you notice that certain frets have these little inlays in them, these little dots. You might have some sort of square pattern on a guitar, it could be anything. But what they effectively do is they tell you what fret you're on. Now you notice there are usually 2 or something a bit special on fret number 12. That's because 12 is a very special fret. You can produce harmonics, and you can get octaves. You can, well, basically the whole guitar structure repeats after fret 12. Okay, there are also markers and other significant frets, 3, 5, 7 and 9. And you notice that you also get the inlays on this part of the neck as well, so that you can see it. Guitars are like many handcrafted beauties. You get what you pay for.
Sounds terrible, Mark.
Okay,